Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Red with only Koga's team and moves was a weird but fun run. Let's follow that up with a classic solo run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Gold with a team of only one Tropius? So this is a weird one, right? I don't know about you, but when I think of Johto, I absolutely don't think of Tropius, so that's why we're using it. Have a single one of you watching this ever even had a Tropius on your Heart Gold or Soul Silver? I'm curious. Anyway, our stats are quite a bit better than a lot of solo Pokemon I use. Pretty high health, decent defense and special defense, kind of bad speed, but not the worst I've used. It's really not bad at anything in particular. I mean, other than having 5 weaknesses, with Ice being a double weakness, that's rough. And Grass type isn't too useful in Johto either. By level up, this actually means that we have a lot of cool moves like Razor Leaf, Body Slam, Air Slash, and Leaf Storm. I'm actually really happy with our level up move list for once. By TMs, we don't really get any serious type coverage, but we can learn a lot. Fly, Earthquake, Giga Drain, Aerial Ace, there's some cool stuff here. I just wish I could learn some ice moves. It would make me feel a lot better about the Lance fight. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through with the challenge, so this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I'm sure I can win, but it makes me pretty worried that Grass is pretty much useless in the Lance fight in this game. Tropius isn't weak, but it's really not great for Johto. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use Tropius. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. So, right off the bat, I used the Universal Pokemon Randomizer to replace Chikorita with Tropius so that we can do the whole run with it. I picked to replace Chikorita so that our rival would have Typhlosion, probably the hardest for us to fight. I name him TV Tropius, because that's hilarious. Although, shortly after naming him that, I saw the name Tropal H on Twitter. Whew, little bit of regret not doing that one. That's amazing. Our nature is brave, so more attack and less speed. I'm pretty happy with that. It could make stuff like Razor Leaf really powerful. So as you might expect, early travel is pretty easy. We're using a stronger Pokemon than you'd normally find here, so we don't have to worry too much about anything in the wild. I'm pretty much just rushing my way through Bellsprout Tower to go straight to the Flying Gym. It shouldn't be hard, we can't get hit by ground moves, so I don't need to worry about Mud Slap, if he even has it in this version. I don't really remember, but I don't think he does. We're weak to Flying type, but I'm not too worried. Well, first try went awful, as we got sand attacked right away by Pidgey, so I tried again, but naturally it didn't go much better. The problem is that we're about the same level as his Pidgeot. Naturally, it's hitting harder since Gust is super effective against us, but what actually made us lose is the fact that he's got Roost and can heal faster than we can hurt him. Yes, this does indeed mean I have to grind to beat the Flying Gym. I feel like I should be ashamed. Wait, never mind. One level into grinding and I remember that Roost makes him lose Flying type during that turn, so I just switched to using Razor Leaf when he was using Roost and I took him out super fast. Whew, crisis averted. That gets us the TM for Roost. That's pretty cool. I'll probably learn that soonish. That's gonna be a really good one. Okay, now we actually have smooth sailing. So we've got a rival fight and the Bug Gym coming up. The Bug Gym should be pretty easy considering we're Flying type and thus can just use Flying moves to beat it, but the rival might be a little bit harder just because of his Fire type. Still, I kinda think it might go fine. I'm more worried about the normal gym when we have to contend with Rollout. We're weak to Rock type, so it could be extra dangerous. Let's just get the Bug Gym and the rival fight out of the way and see what level we are. Oh, and I got that unmissable Miracle Seed while traveling, of course. That's 20% more power for our grass moves when we hold it, so we can squeeze a little bit more power out of our Razor Leaf. It's awesome that we get that so early. It won't help us in the Bug Gym, but it's still nice to have. Alright, so I got to the Bug Gym at level 18, and I was actually surprised by how it went. In this version, he doesn't spam Fairy Cutter, but he instead has U-Turn, and it's super effective against us. On this run, we actually almost won because he kept U-turning, so he'd have to focus energy again as he came back in, just for us to get crit by a quick attack and go down. Am I gonna have to grind for this gym too? Nope, because after a few tries, it looked like I was for sure gonna have to grind when I suddenly landed a crit to beat him instead. Well, that works. He beat me on my winning run with a crit, I beat him on his winning run with a crit. Alright, so the rival fight after was really weird. Ghastly was super easy, it just used Spite to reduce our power points, but it was no problem. Second was Quilava, and it's only a level lower than us, so I was worried. But then it just kept using Leer. I figured it must be setting up for Flame Wheel or something, but nope, just more Leer. It leered us 5 times and got a smokescreen in, but it never tried to attack, and we knocked it out. Because of that, we went into the Zubat fight with full health, and all it did was miss a Supersonic, so we didn't even get hit. I'm pretty sure that we would have lost if he just, fought me. So we're on the road, and this is where I think the run is going to get harder. The last couple of gyms took a few tries, but the next one I might actually have to grind for. Clefairy is probably fine unless it metronomes something completely insane, but Miltank has rollout and that's super effective against us. I know I can't just go one-shotting her or anything, and I'm actually a little bit worried that she could out-heal us with Milk Drink. I figure there's no way that she can out-heal our critical Razor Leaves with the Miracle Seed though, so maybe we just need that to hit once or twice. I will say, I'm feeling a little slow between Tropius not being fast in the first place and our bad speed nature. Let's hope that doesn't bite us too much. Okay, weird normal gym fight. Clefairy went fine, all it did was mimic to learn Razor Leaf and then never use it. Miltank surprised me when it decided to spam Stomp instead of Rollout, but quickly I realized why. It flinched, then she attracted us. We could pretty easily two-shot her, but instead we were losing turn after turn to attraction. We lost 3 turns in a row, got crit to go down to only 4 health, then finally landed the last hit on her. Hey, so far we've arrived at these gyms at the perfect level to beat them in close fights. This is kind of perfect. Alright, so I'm not really sure what the upcoming parts of the run are gonna look like. I know that in Heart Gold I have an extra rival fight coming up, so I'm not really sure what to expect there from Quilava. And then there's the Ghost Gym where Razor Leaf probably is not gonna cut it. Too many poison types. I guess I'll be using Gust for that fight. Not really the best move, but it's what we've got. Okay, so you need to see this rival fight. Right away we beat Ghastly when he uses Mean Look and Confuse Ray, but this genuinely took 10 tries because he usually just starts with Curse and that dooms us right away. Second is Zubat, and this beat me on one of the runs because it crit Wing Attack a bunch, but on this try it went down reasonably fast. Third is Quilava, and once again, it didn't really fight us, but it hit 3 whole smoke screens, completely ruining our accuracy. We had no issues finishing it off, but as Magnemite came out, everything fell apart. Between low accuracy, getting paralyzed, and him confusing us over and over, we were useless. We only landed 1 hit on Magnemite, and I lost count of how many times I tried to hit him. I'm just gonna have to grind a little bit and hopefully be faster than some of his team, then try again. So I tried this fight a ton more times at level 28 thinking it must be possible, but I never got as far as I did on that previous level 25 run that I showed. I could tell that I was maybe 1 or 2 levels away from one-shotting Zubat though, and it was causing me tons of issues, so I just got to level 30 so I could one-shot it. I still think that it would have been a hard fight, I'm sure, but we crit Quilava, so it only hit us with 1 smoke screen. Thanks to that, Magnemite was easy and we won. Why do I get the feeling that we're gonna get stuck on the Ghost Gym because of Curse? Well, the fight with Morty starts okay, because we can just one-shot Ghastly. Problem is, Gengar straight up just overpowers us. He doesn't even have Curse, he just beats us by using Shadow Ball. We got a special defense drop, but even without it, I don't think we could Roost to out-heal him. But that's not how I thought this would go. I guess I'll go clear at the Lighthouse for even more levels, then come back. It's the last route that I can reach that I haven't cleared of trainers yet. Yeah, I already fought my whole way through Mount Mortar and the Lake of Rage. So I try some more at level 35 after clearing out the Lighthouse and grinding in the wild for a while, but still no luck. We always drop Gengar into range to use a Hyper Potion, and it really bites us. We don't take a ton of damage from Shadow Ball, but we always end up losing special defense eventually, and once that happens, we're in serious danger. Maybe just a few more levels? The grind is really slow right now. Level 38, and I tried some more. Finally, this time we were doing enough damage that Gust could 3-shot Gengar even with its berry. Plus, it used Hypnosis and missed on one of its turns, so we actually beat it with tons of health, and it's a good thing we did because the first Haunter used Curse on us. Because of that, we nearly lost. Curse just does tons of damage, and there was still one last Haunter to fight. We won, but it was close. Well, it feels good to be done that at least. We can finally move across the water, so that means that we have the Fighting Gym, Steel Gym, and Ice Gym. Normally ice is easy and steel is hard, but we're quad weak to ice, so I doubt it's gonna go that way. Fighting gym should be pretty easy between our grass and fighting moves. The steel gym might be hard because of the Magnemites more than anything, but the ice gym could be a real problem for once. Hey, at least we get Fly soon. That's a huge upgrade from Gust. Yeah, that's what I thought. Primeape went down to the Gusts easily, and Poliwrath couldn't handle our Razor Leaf. Why do I have a bad feeling about the Steel Gym? Maybe this is why. We show up and easily lose to a Magnemite a whole 10 levels lower than us. Honestly, it wasn't even close. I think we're gonna have to get stronger. Well, I guess I'm doing the Rocket Hideout early. This isn't too strange though, Steel Gym is usually the hardest part. Hey, maybe it still will be. No harm in trying the Ice Gym early after this, because we can, although I kinda get the feeling that I might be stuck grinding for either one. It's funny how we're a stronger Pokemon than usual, but I'm having a pretty hard time just because Grass and Flying are not exactly the best types in Johto. Tons of required trainer fights in this game just resist Grass. And Flying is nice, but not defensively. I'm just hoping that these extra levels can get me strong enough that the Magnemites don't totally wreck me anymore. Those things resist nearly every type, I swear. The first try at the Ice Gym was just tragic. Obviously Piloswine at the end was the only real threat, but I paralyzed it so early that I thought I stood a chance. He made it hail early, so I flew to try and finish it off, but it hardly survived. Blizzard hit, nearly taking us out, as hail brought us to only 4 health. I went for a body slam to finish it off, just to survive with a sliver, and hail finished us off. Tragic. You know what? He's ground and ice. Grass is neutral. I should be using Razor Leaf instead. There we go. After a couple of failed tries due to missing the 95 accuracy Razor Leaf, we got a win. Why did I think that ice resists grass? I mean, it would make sense if it did, but for some reason I really thought that it did. Oh, whatever. I'm happy I realized the mistake before the video came out, or else you'd tweet at me about it for the rest of my life. So I tried the Steel Gym more now that we're a few levels higher, but it's still just going awful. We can get past Magnemite with a little bit of luck, but Steelix is just so tanky. Razor Leaf is physical and neutral, so it's not doing great, and I just seem to be allergic to crits because we are never getting them. We can Roost Stoat heal them, but we're paralyzed every time, so it's not consistent. And her Iron Tails eventually drop our defenses, so the Iron Tails get stronger as the fight goes long. If I got a couple of crits, then I bet I could have taken it down, but I'm iffy on if I'd be able to beat Magnemite after. We're still not ready for this. I tried a few more times at level 48, and it was kind of looking hopeful at first because I knew a critical Razor Leaf would one-shot Magnemite, but then right after we got hit by Screech, got a defense drop from Iron Tail, and lost in only 2 of Steelix's hits because of it. I really don't like how little damage we're still doing to Steelix. I don't really think that we could take it out unless we crit multiple times. And then there's also the risk of it just using a Hyper Potion when it lands in low health. This might really take a while. Alright, I failed a ton on my way to level 55 because it absolutely would not crit with Razor Leaf. But then as soon as I bite the bullet and see if level 55 is enough for a one-shot, we crit to take out Magnemite and not get paralyzed. The Steelix fight actually goes pretty well too, with us critting it for tons of damage. We even managed to take it down without her using a Hyper Potion. Problem is, last Magnemite is out and Razor Leaf didn't crit, so it wasn't a one-shot. We got paralyzed, she healed, and we had this horrible fight where she confused us and we were losing tons of turns. She kept whittling us down with Thunderbolt, and things were pretty close before we finally got the knockout. I thought level 55 might be a bit too much, but after seeing how brutal that last Magnemite was, I'm just happy I didn't waste more of my time at a lower level. Alright, with that done, we're on the move again, and I'm kind of worried about the next part. We're fighting a lot of poison and flying types because of Team Rocket, and that's mildly annoying, although plenty of them are one-shots, but I'm really worried about this rival fight. Normally, it's kind of an easy one, but the rival has been hard this run, and I know that Golbat at the start of the fight won't be easy. I'm just hoping that Fly hits hard enough that we don't have to worry too much. Okay, at least the rival fight was easy. It was because we leveled up so much, but I could see it being hard next time. I believe that our rival has Magneton the next time we fight it, and Magnemites have already been a huge issue this run. Not really looking forward to that. That means we're traveling to the final gym. Now this is a bit different in Heart Gold than in regular Gold. She's got Water Onyx to deal with, but I figure it might be a little bit easier than a third Dragonair. Then again, Intimidate. I don't know, it's hard to say. Razor Leaf is neutral against it, but Intimidate lowers our attack, and I think that she starts the fight with that, so that's attack down the whole fight. I know that one of her Dragonairs has Fire Blast, and that could be bad. Basically, I'm hoping we don't get the nightmare scenario of Intimidate, Paralysis, and then Smokescreen all in the same fight. That's totally gonna happen, isn't it? So I get to the gym at level 59 and things start out rough with Intimidate, but Water Onix is agonizingly close to being a 2-shot with Razor Leaf. Maybe it could be with perfect damage ranges, but realistically, I just need a crit. It goes down, but not before doing tons of damage to us. Second is the Dragonair that has Fire Blast, of course, but really it didn't do much damage with Fire Blast itself. The problem is that it paralyzes us, and that's always a nightmare. We're incredibly close to one-shotting it. If we could, then we wouldn't get paralyzed. Kingdra after that took us out pretty fast, but a non-critical Razor Leaf did do about a third of her health and damage. You know what? I bet we could get to Kingdra with more of our health if I just leveled up literally once. Let me use a rare candy real quick. Alright, I was wrong about needing only one more level. Here's how it went after 3. Water Onix loses half of its health to Razor Leaf, so it only gets 1 Dragon Rage in before going down. Not a bad start. Dragonair is now a one-shot with Fly, so we just one-shot it, and next is Kingdra. Right away, we hit it for great damage, but it heals with a berry, so we couldn't two-shot it. Dragon Pulse didn't do much to us, though. I hit 2 Razor Leafs to take it out, but we lost accuracy in the process. Last is the final Dragonair, but it was just another one-shot with Fly, so we got a solid win. Alright, we're finally going on to the Elite Four. Honestly, I have no idea what to expect anymore. Despite Tropius having higher stats than most of what we use, I'd argue that those gyms went worse than in most other solo runs. It really is just us being a type combo that is not great for Johto. Our rival has that Magneton that's a nightmare to fight, Koga has loads of poison types, and then of course there's the Lance Fight himself with his all-flying type team. We're weak to it, and his Dragonites double resist grass, so it's really not gonna help. I can see the actual end of this game being pretty brutal. Gotta love how Heart Gold emulates, by the way. Anytime I walk through a door, there's a chance that every character sprite just becomes a mess of broken graphics. One day I'll figure out how to fix that. So this rival fight took 3 tries. On the first try, I lost to Magneton at the end with a sliver of health because we hit ourselves in confusion 3 times in a row. On the second try, we lost because Typhlosion burned us. But on the third try, we literally did not take a single point of damage. We got paralyzed, but that's it. Weird fight, man. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at our stats. Our health is pretty good and overall stats are okay, but I really think that our type is going to hold us back. I'm hoping that maybe between our high health and Roost that we can handle more than I think, but I'm not too confident. I guess I could replace Roost with Earthquake, but then again, if Lance's entire team is flying type, then there's probably not much point in learning it right now. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Psychic Trainer Will. This one was pretty easy. Fly one-shots most of his team, so we don't actually get hit very much, and it's a very good thing that we get those one-shots. Jinx's Ice Punch could have really messed us up otherwise. Easy fight though. Second is Poison Trainer Koga. So this was way harder than I was expecting. I knew it might be hard, but I didn't think I'd lose 5 times in a row to Muck, either hitting massive gunk shots and poisoning us, or just straight up getting us with Toxic. When we finally got a run that went well enough that we didn't get poisoned, we got hit by Screech instead. Because of that, the Crobat right after was easily able to take us out with some wing attacks. It's faster than us too, since Crobat is super fast and we're kinda slow, and it loves spamming Double Team. We were lucky to even hit with Fly. Yeah, I'm gonna need some levels for sure, this isn't even close. Even if I got some lucky crit and took out Crobat, how would I beat Fortress? I need to get stronger. Here we are, 5 levels higher. Ariados was a one-shot with Fly, but Monk is still a threat. This time, though, we paralyzed him, he used Minimize, we missed a Body Slam, he missed a Gunk Shot, then we took him out with our next Slam, so no damage so far. Crobat instantly starts spamming Double Team, and it gets bad. I knew he'd use it at least twice, but he actually uses it more than that, and even has full restores to last longer. Thankfully, Wing Attack wasn't doing tons to us, so we could Roost if we had to. We ended up slamming it down after paralyzing it, though. Venomoth was a one-shot with Fly, and last was Fortress. Now this thing is really annoying because it can use Protect to avoid Fly, but it doesn't always do it for some reason. I don't know, maybe the AI doesn't fully understand the value of it. Eventually we got it paralyzed after it used a full restore, so I just kept attacking until it went down. It could hardly hurt us, so it wasn't dangerous, just kind of annoying. Third is Fighting Trainer Bruno. Alright, so on the first try we had a pretty easy time with Hitmontop. He switches to Onyx at some point, and we take it out easily with Razor Leaf, but then we missed our 95 accuracy fly twice in a row. We ended up getting swaggered twice, raising our attack 4 stages to the point that we actually knocked ourselves out well in the air while flying. Okay, well that was just insanely bad luck. I'm gonna try again. On the second try, we don't miss our 95 accuracy move and ended up having a really easy time. We actually got hit in the air a little bit because of Machamp's ability to always hit, but it wasn't enough to stop us. Fourth is Dark Trainer Karen. So I didn't even get hit. We just one-shot her entire team with Fly. It was kind of crazy. I really didn't think Gengar would be a one-shot, but then again, I guess we do have a pretty big level lead. I can only imagine that Lance is going to be a nightmare. Finally, Pokemon Champion Lance. First is Water Onix, so our attack is down the whole fight from Intimidate. I was worried about what he'd do, but then we one-shot him with a critical Razor Leaf. Nice! Next is Aerodactyl, the only other Pokemon that I can use Razor Leaf on. We didn't crit this time, and it was faster, so we got hit by Rock Slide twice, taking us down to pretty low health by the time we made it faint. As Charizard came out, we pretty quickly got taken out. Okay, well, that wasn't too horrible. Maybe I could do this below level 80. Alright, so now we're level 75, and we get to experience what happens if we don't crit Water Onix at the start. We lose really badly. Man, I was totally wrong about being able to do this below level 80. If that's how little damage we're doing without a crit, then how much of a mess will it be when I'm trying to take down the Dragonites? We might be way too low a level. I'll make a bunch of tries at level 80 though, just to see what happens. Level 80. Okay, so Water Onix kind of went okay this time, although we still lost most of our health. Yes, that's kind of okay by this fight's standards. Aerodactyl is next, and right away, Rock Slide left us with only 7 health and we missed Razor Leaf, but then he missed his move and we crit to one-shot him. Okay, we're back in this. As Charizard came out, I used Roost. He has a lot of good moves that are good against us, but we can actually out-heal him by a little bit, so we eventually took him out with a bunch of Body Slams. But then it was Dragonite, and although we dodged Thunder Wave with Fly, his second one hit and we fell apart fast. We lucked out on Blizzard missing, but the next one hit and we got finished off by Dragon Rush right after. Still not strong enough. Okay, level 85, 4 tries in. Right away we got a crit on Water Onix to one-shot it. As nice as that is, it's kind of unnecessary now that we two-shot it anyway. Rock Slide missed though, so Aerodactyl only ever hit us once, doing a lot less damage before we took it out. Charizard didn't even land a hit due to it missing its only chance, so this is a great start. As soon as the Blizzard Dragonite came out, we started using Fly. We got paralyzed early, but what matters most is that we dodged Blizzard, and actually landed Fly a few times to knock it out. We stand a chance. Second from last Pokemon is another Dragonite, and this one loves using Outrage. Now, it doesn't do a ton of damage, but we do have to use a Roost to stay healthy. Problem is, we're paralyzed and sometimes we miss turns. At one point, we were knocked down to only 2 health before we used Roost to survive just in time. I kept Body Slamming, hoping to paralyze it, but never did. Eventually, it went down. His last Dragonite spams Dragon Rush instead. It kind of hits hard, but it's also inaccurate, so he does spam it sometimes. I just made sure to use Roost anytime we were near half health, and we took him out pretty quickly. We finally got a win. With that victory, we get in the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Heart Gold has all of Kanto in the post-game, including 8 gym battles and a secret final boss fight with Red. 7 of those 8 gym battles are really easy since they're weaker than the Elite Four, so we're going to skip ahead to the next real challenge, Blue. First up is Executor, and right away we just nail a one-shot with Fly. I crit, but I really doubt I needed it to be, considering how much of a level lead we have. RK9 came out second, we lost attack to Intimidate. Right away, Flare Blitz hit us incredibly hard, taking out about half of our health, but thankfully we have leftovers to heal us every turn, and I use Fly, so that gives us extra turns to heal. We actually crit Fly to nail a one-shot. Pidgeot is third, and we hit a Fly just for him to eat a berry and Whirlwind us so that our HM Krabby came out. Well, thanks to him, I had to switch back to Tropius, and he got a free critical air slash on me. But I guess the upside is it got rid of the attack drop from Intimidate, so I used Roost to heal up, then Fly to try and take him out. We missed our Fly, because of course we did, but after that we crit to take it out. I'm sorry, have we crit every knockout in this fight? I know they're not important crits, but I still appreciate it. Next up is Water Onyx, so our attack goes down. We did some decent damage with Razor Leaf, got messed up by Ice Fang, and decided to fly. Of course we missed yet again, and Ice Fang hit again for crazy damage. We finally got a Fly in after that and took him out, but we're hurt. As soon as Rhydon came out, I used Roost to heal up. He's got Stone Edge, but it really didn't do much, so I just healed up and took it out with Razor Leaf. It was funny because we kept getting him to red health in one hit, then he'd waste a full restore after fully healing back up. Eventually he ran out and went down. Last is Machamp, so I used Fly. He crit a Stone Edge while we were in the air to take us down to only 16 health, and Fly one-shot him. You have no idea the sinking feeling I felt in my chest when I realized that he crit right at the end of that fight, followed by the joy of surviving and taking him out. Oh, what a wild fight. Alright, we're on our way to Red. Now, I want to point out that I always lose really badly whenever I bother fighting Red in Heart Gold, and it's probably just gonna happen again. Plus, it's hailing up here all the time. I remember the comments told me last time that there's like one day out of the year where it's not hailing here, so I could set my system clock to that. But like, I really don't think that's gonna save us this time. His entire team is in their level 80s, Pikachu has Light Ball, and three of his Pokemon have Blizzard. I'm quad weak to Ice. Sure, if I removed Hail, then those moves could miss, but I would need all three of his Pokemon to miss with it, probably multiple times, and to not get hit by Blast Burn or Flare Blitz, and I'd have to hope that Pikachu doesn't mess me up too badly at the start, too. It just isn't happening. I'm just gonna get to level 100, go to Red, and we can have fun seeing if we make any progress at all. If I make even one Pokemon faint, I'll be happy. So I get to Red at level 89. I assumed I'd just go down instantly, but Pikachu ended up doing so much damage to itself, Volt Tackling us, that Hail took it out at the end of the round. Well, that was lucky. The moment Lapras came out, we hit a decent Razor Leaf and then got taken out by Blizzard. That actually went better than I expected. Let's go ahead and get to level 100 and try more. Rare candy, of course. I would be insane to grind an extra 11 levels for this doomed fight. All right, level 100. So the fight goes the exact same. I mean, not the exact same. I guess we took slightly less damage and we didn't need Hail to finish off Pikachu, but we landed the same amount of hits and we got hit the same amount of times before we went down. I'm slower than Pikachu, so there's nothing I can do to avoid that damage. And I guess Lapras could go down to a crit, but then Snorlax will just one-shot us with Blizzard next, so I don't think there's anything we can do to win this one. I figure that's kind of just how it's gonna have to be for Heart Gold solo runs. So that was much harder than I was expecting. It's weird, Tropius isn't a bad Pokemon. Good stats, good moves, a fun type combo. It just has a really hard time in solo runs. Maybe I should do Tropius and Fire Red sometime, just to see how it goes. Considering how many people use Intimidate in Fire Red, it can't be easy. Oh, well, then again, there's not the physical special split yet, so I guess Razor Leaf would be special. Maybe that would actually help, I'm not sure. I really hope you guys like that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual with Pokemon Emerald with Wally's team. This one's been requested for years, and I've always wanted to do it. Wally's team is clearly good, and yet he's so bad with it. I just want to see how easy it is to win with his team. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments, in the challenge request section of my Discord channel, and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. Outro time. I'm sure by the time that this video goes up, you've noticed I've been streaming more. See, I finally followed through on it. I'm actually having more time. And in fact, The day that I'm doing this voiceover, I'm probably going to do a stream of some WWF WrestleMania 2000, either today or tomorrow again. And of course, I put all those up on YouTube, and there's the playlist, and you can watch some of the videos early in the playlist and everything. It's a really fun time. I always get comments on there from people saying that they tuned in not really knowing what to expect, and they really enjoy it because it's a little bit like a podcast on some level, you know, because they are streams. I'm so excited to do more of that. And I want to stream more Stardew Valley, because I used to play a lot of Stardew Valley when that game was new, and I absolutely loved it. I completed my community center and stuff. And then I didn't play it for a long time, and I know it's had a load of like really big substantial updates since the game was new, and I haven't really played them yet. Outside of playing maybe like 2 or 3 hours of the multiplayer with my friend Lucy Pyre, you guys might know her, VTuber over on Twitch. She did a rap for me in that, I think it was either a red or a fire red Dratini run that I did. She made a rap for me, which was awesome. I think that blew people's minds. Anyway, either than playing the game with her for a few hours on multiplayer and then playing maybe like, I don't know, 8 hours of it like a year and a half ago when I was stuck in bed for a few months. I played it a little bit on the Switch. Either in that, I haven't really played any of these new updates, so I don't know the extent of these. I understand like a little bit of it. I know there's like new dateable people or whatever, but I'm really excited to go in and explore that stuff. And I've never done like a series on Stardew, either than just that little bit I played with Lucy. So yeah, I'm gonna do some streams of it, put it up on YouTube. I think that'll be a fun time. Maybe I'll have some more time to do some more Bannerlord, because Bannerlord is always such a fun game to play. And I've been liking that I'm gonna be like a Bandit King in that, which I've never really done extensively. I've toyed around with it a little bit on private files before, so I'm excited to bring that to the show. Oh, so much fun stuff to do, but I need to go make myself a meal. I'm gonna go make some egg fried rice. Gonna be delicious. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.